People power. Our power. NUP. Everywhere. Madam President, the party, ladies and gentlemen of the press, and the fellow citizens here, and those watching us from wherever you are. The NRM criminal enterprise, like it has become, never runs short of evil schemes. Its latest evil scheme is now called the Protection of Sovereignty Bill. Beautifully named, but motivated by evil intentions. It is very clear that their main target is crippling NUP, because the regime in the previous election, having ensured that the NUP does not get its entitlement from the National Consolidated Fund, was shocked that the members of NUP in the diaspora were able to fund the campaign to its logical conclusion, for which we are very grateful to our members in the diaspora. So they went back to the drawing board and have now come up with an evil scheme called the Protection of Sovereignty Bill. We want to invite all the people of Uganda to take in attention to this evil scheme, resist it, and stop it. And all of us can play different roles in ensuring that that is done. This bill has far-reaching effects in addition to crippling NUP, in addition, because one of the things that it intends to do is to identify Ugandans in the diaspora as foreigners. Can you imagine? A departure from the constitution, that your children who have gone to work in Abu Dhabi, in Qatar, your children who are in America, it becomes law, they will be considered foreigners. And by implication, if your son or daughter who is on Cheyo, Uganda having failed to give him or her an opportunity to work in Uganda, sends you money and you receive it in Uganda, you are considered an agent of a foreigner. That is how ridiculous and sad that law is. So people should not look at it as just a legislation that is intended to deal with politicians, illegitimate as that would be, but it has far-reaching effects. It also means that if you are working with a school that receives support and funding from a person who is not a Ugandan, or a Ugandan based abroad, that you classify as an agent of a foreigner. That if you work in a hospital, and the hospital somehow receives support or funding from an NGO, or from an individual, or an organization that is not a Ugandan organization, that you're classified as an agent of foreigners. And mind you, Uganda already has sufficient legal framework to deal with illicit inflow of money. There are laws about money laundering, there are laws about financing of terrorism, and things of that nature. But it is very clear that this scheme now has nothing to do with national security, but they are only using national security as an excuse to further control the citizens. And typical of all dictatorships, they thrive on controlling citizens. They now control what you say, they control what you think, they control what you write. We have people who have been rotting in jail. Our brother Marema is in jail because of a post that he allegedly made on TikTok. So now that phase of controlling what you say, what you think, what you teach in class has been completed. Now they want to control what you earn. And having finished that, if they are not stopped, they will now want to control what you dress. They may even come up with a uniform that all citizens must put on, a uniform of yellow or any other, because that is a form of control to reduce citizens into subjects who are not able to flourish or prosper on their own, except with the permission of the dictatorship. That the dictatorship should be able to say this one should flourish, this one shouldn't. And that's how dictatorships world over operate. And when they come to parliament, they want to tell a lie that they are benchmarking. They forget that those jurisdictions there are control mechanisms that contain the excesses of the state in terms of due process and protection of private property. Now, they are saying that for you, once you receive that support, if your brother is building a house in Uganda and sends you money of a certain amount to help him supervise that house, that to access that money, you must get permission from the minister. Do you know what that means? You all know what happens in those public offices when you go to get any help. It means that half of that money will remain in those offices. Because the criminal enterprise has stolen the taxes, the taxes have not been enough. Now they even want to steal the remainder, the money that remains from what they have taxed from you. So we are here, first of all, to condemn in the strongest possible terms that scheme labeled as protection of sovereignty right, of sovereignty bill. We want to call upon the people of Uganda to reject and resist that evil scheme. We want to call upon people with platforms, the media houses, to break down this bill for people of Uganda to understand it very well. Because now they are disguising it as something that is intended to protect the sovereignty of our country. Yet they are the ones that have auctioned the sovereignty of Uganda to lenders in China and elsewhere. But they are now trying to deceive that they are protecting the sovereignty of Ugandans. We want to call upon everyone with the platform, people in the churches, to explain this law, the implication it has on ordinary citizens, that the ordinary citizens are equipped with sufficient information to resist and stop it. We want to call upon citizens to petition their members of parliament and call them out to stand up and stop this evil scheme. And those that are able to petition other international organizations to do so. And so all of us can stand in solidarity and stop this mechanism that is intended to further make Uganda a police state where the regime is able to control what you think, what you do, what you earn, what you eat, and what you dress. It has no good intention at all, and the lies and deception that is presented as an intention to protect the sovereignty of Uganda should be dismissed with the contempt that they deserve.